actually got my microphone to work again, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and talk about these cool Panthor helmets. Before we jump into it, though, let's first finish talking about my custom He-Man head that I made yesterday. Some people asked some comments saying, hey, why not just scan this in, 3D print it, cast it, all kinds of other things like that. Hold on a second. There we go. And the answer to that is I wanted people to be able to make their own. And so if I was to sit there and do some really advanced stuff like scan it in and everything else and clean it up in Blender and get it all ready to print and make it, then you guys just couldn't go do that same thing. So I wanted to show you guys how to make your own from scratch by using the O-rings and the heat shrink tubing and cutting the head out so that anybody could make it by finding an old He-Man figure online for, $20 or whatever, an old Prince Adam, or, you can find figures all the time, really cheap sometimes, that are mangled or missing arms or chewed up fingers and all kinds of other things like that. And then just, carefully take the head off and go from there. Anyway, so that's the reason why I used the regular head, was just to show you guys how to make your own. So I'm not mass producing this head or anything else. Just wanted to show you guys how to do it on your own. So that's the reason for that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the helmets, because that's what you guys are here for. So a couple things is this is what I designed the helmet for, was the Panthor. That is for the Origins line, as you can see right here. And so what I did was I had this head right here that when I made my cringer, and so I took and filled it full of poster putty and then used this to create the inverse of the inside of the helmet so it fits on there just right. Well, I didn't realize this, but check it out. Here is the old 80s Battle Cat, and I was looking at the head, and it has a lot of the same features. I mean, it is really similar to the way they made it. And so someone asked, hey, and look, even the ears are the same type of sculpting. Let me get this closer so you guys can see the, so it's very, very similar in the design from the 80s Battle Cat to the Origins. But they probably used it, obviously, to create the Origins one because it's so similar. So just for kicks, I tried the helmet on Battle Cat, and sure enough, it fit on Battle Cat really good. Now, this is the Battle Cat from the 80s, which it does fit on, but I don't have a Panthor from the 80s. What I do have, though, is a commemorative Panthor, and so I stuck it on the commemorative one, and it fit on him too. It's like, oh, cool, but I had to use a plastic or a rubber band that I had to put under his chin like a party hat to hold it on, because obviously I don't want to use poster putty on the flocking on there. So there you go. Now, of course, if you do this, you want to be very careful to not roll the rubber band on the flocking, because you don't want it to pull it off. So let me go ahead and take that off there. So there's my commemorative. Anyway, so I have some of these ready, as you can see. Let me show you guys the before and after of some of the steps. Oh, I found his hand. Hooray. So now I could swap that hand out. It was right on the floor under my foot area where I sit. And I had a cardboard box down there that I happened to have sitting on top of it. In fact, it was the box I opened for the He-Man figure. So when I first print these, they come out looking this color right here. This really kind of cloudy looking blue. And they have little stuff stuck on them, and so I have to take and sand it off and make it so it's kind of clean. So as you guys know, I sell an unpainted version. Hey, it's a Sledgemaster. Hey, I was looking at your video you showed earlier. That looks pretty cool. I'm excited to go check out your stuff from today. So after I get this right here, then I go and I paint it with a clear coat, and it gives it this cool look right here. After I clear coat it, I paint the bottom with 2 different spray paints to match the bluish color I'm looking for, because that way I don't want to change the hue too much. And then I add a green wash over the top of the whole entire thing. And at that point, then it makes it so it just about matches the armor on Panthor. So that's why I do the green wash on it. There you go. You can kind of see how that looks, and it looks really cool. Anyway, so that's how the steps I have. Now this one I haven't painted green yet, just because the paint's not completely dry on it yet. So I got to wait till it completely dries before I do my green wash on it. So that's kind of about the Panthor heads. So there are 2 people that have already purchased these 2 heads. And so for you 2 guys, these are yours. This 3rd one's probably going to go up on eBay just to see, but I'll put the green wash on it first. And then again, if you guys do want one of these heads, like I've told you before, just contact me on Facebook or heman.org. It does take a while to make them, so it's not like super fast. Like it takes about a week to make 3 of them. So if I have a huge bunch of orders, I'll have to tell you guys you got to wait a few days to get them. So that's kind of the deal. Hey, David, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, Eric Kent, that's good to know. Eric, if you get me right away, this one might even be yours. I might even not even stick it on eBay and just end up selling it to you, man. So thanks, Big Jim. I appreciate that, man. Anyway, I was just excited for the fact that these helmets could fit on the 80s ones. That is so cool to me, because then it opens up a whole new way people can get or use them. So I was like, yes. And it's funny because on the 80s one, the back of the helmet actually fits underneath the armor. But on the commemorative one, it didn't do that. So the commemorative one must be a little bit different shape. You know what? I'm going to grab the commemorative Battle Cat just to see how it fits on there, because I'm curious how close they made. Okay, here's my commemorative Battle Cat. Now, of course, these helmets are not for Battle Cat. They are for Panthor, but I'm just curious. Yep, the head's a little bit bigger. You can tell they kind of remolded it. So it fits on there a little loose. It's not awesomely tight, but if you were to use poster putty, of course, you're not going to put it on Battle Cat. You're going to put it on your Panthor. And you know what? It's probably good it's a little loose, because Panthor has the flocking, and it does actually fit better on the flocked head than it does on, which makes sense, because, you know, you're going to use it on your flocked Panthor for the old style, but there you go. And again, like I was saying, you're going to want to use that rubber band to hold it on, because it will flop and if you don't. But once you get it on there, it'll be pretty solid. Anyway, I just wanted to make a short video today, and I'll send it to those 2 guys. Yep, hopefully Eric can be the first one to message me, man. That'd be cool. Are you planning on making any more Panthor horns? I am, David. So don't worry, this is not the last batch. It just takes you a while to make them. So usually people order them, and then I start making them. Yep, so hopefully I'll make a few more. Now, it stinks is the Snake Mountain walls, I can't get them to print anymore. I have a guy that wants one right now, and I've actually already changed out the printer, changed out the filament, all kinds of other things, and I just cannot get the walls to print anymore. I think it's because the temperature has changed in the environment, and on the cold temperature, it works way better with the TPU filament, and it's just kicking my rear trying to get that to work. Anyway. And then, of course, I do have those itty bitty cringer heads for those that are interested. But, you know, these are I mean, they're kind of cool, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't mean to sit here and just push all my wares on you guys. Do you guys have any questions from last night about our Battle Armor He-Man? Where'd he go? Here he is. Battle Armor He-Man with the strange face. Oh, I cannot believe the head they made for this guy. I mean, the only reason to buy him, sorry Mattel, is for the extra head that you get, boop, and the extra hand that you get, boop. That way you could put your He-Man on that little fighter, I forget what it's called now, but the jet sled, sky sled, because then you could swap out the hand. Come out of there. See, that's the color paint I used. And you can just put him on there. So now he is Skyjet ready. Of course, I sold my Skyjet because I'm just going to use the ones from the 80s. But you guys get the idea. For those that do want the extra hand. You know what? I'm going to go grab one of those Skyjets from the 80s and see how he looks on there. You should make a flocked chest hair Zodak. Pop actor, that is hilarious. So it's funny with my Battle Ram, which is one of my favorite toys when it came to vehicles. Oops, I knocked over my mat and table. I always thought this was so awesome is I put one in my windowsill on purpose to turn it green for the bad guys. So the bad guys one is green and the good guys one is blue. And I did this years and years and years ago. I didn't know I could just put a green wash on it to turn it green. But it was just kind of funny how I purposely stuck it in the windowsill, and every day I'd rotate it a different way. You can see I didn't do the bottom as much because it's kind of still blue back here. But this was actually sun damage on purpose to get it to turn green so the bad guys could have a green one and the good guys could have the blue one. I know. Back before I thought about just painting it, right? So let's see how he fits on here. Okay. Now, it was so clever the way they designed these that this side actually would work with the open hand. And when I was a kid, I remember pushing the shopping cart around and I would hold the shopping cart on both sides of the shopping cart with my hands like I was controlling the Battle Ram. But you know what? These figures work great on the Battle Ram. And you can get Battle Rams pretty cheap nowadays. Or some of the Sky Sled pieces. So I'm not too interested in getting the Origins one because, of course, again, just like the other vehicle, you see that his part is stuck. You know what? Okay, I have had it with this armor. I like the fact there's a place to put the sword, but I am tired of that always hindering him sitting in stuff. He couldn't sit in the Land Shark. He couldn't sit in the, now he can't sit in the Battle Ram. He couldn't fit in the weapons from the 80s from Italy. So this is going to go right now. I have had enough of this being in the way of him being able to sit on things. My 80s He-Man didn't have it. This one's not getting it either. There we go. No more sword holder for you. No more scabbard for you. I miss the bra connectors they used to have with these. Which is funny is because the other figures still have the bra connectors. I mean, look. You got your Man-at-Arms. He still has the sporting the old bra connector on the back. You know, so I don't know why they have He-Man's not that way. I guess it's so it can match one of the comics where they had the design on the front and the back. Fit. Burp. All right. Let's try him now. One hand there. One hand there. Whoop. Let's slip him back in there and see how he fits. Boom. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, yeah. That thing has a lot of power still. Yes, I got lots of extra missiles. I was eBay shopping one time and bought a whole bunch of Battle Rams one time. Kept the one that was in the best shape. Kept a whole bunch of the fronts and got rid of all the backs, the ones that weren't in very good shape. And kept all the missiles left over from all those different Battle Rams. My big wheel was the Sky Sled in my days. Pop actor, that is the way to go. Please tell me you had the cool handbrake you would pull and spin out and do all kinds of stuff with that. How long has he been on the windowsill? When I was a kid, I think I left it in there most of the summer. I live in a state that doesn't get a lot of sun. So I remember I was out there for a sunny week just sticking it in there. And it's funny how I discovered it turned things green. Is I had a Micronaut piece. It was a Quarier's piece that goes on his legs that goes up to make, whoops, it goes up to make the fin for him flying. And I had that in the windowsill only for a couple days, maybe even been just one sunny day. And I went to go get it and it was yellow. I thought, how did that happen? And so, of course, you know, you get handed lemonade and you turn it back into lemons, right? So I decided, you know what? I can turn other things yellow too. Now, the coolest thing I ever saw someone turn yellow was somebody took a battle armor He-Man, and I don't know how they did it, but the armor has actually been yellowed and it looks gold, and it's so cool looking. I've seen it online. Someone's trying to sell it as some super rare figure, and all it was just sun damaged, you know, and it just looked like it was the gold variant of battle armor He-Man, and it was pretty cool. But I've often wondered if somebody spun that barrel on that gold armored He-Man, if it would not be yellow where the barrel is. So anyway, that's a good question. How long I left it in there? I don't remember. I was, you know, pretty young when I did it. And I was just stuck it up there and kept rotating it every day. Yeah. The side back brake never worked. You know, it's funny. Some of those big wheels, when you put the pedals straight, so you could have the big wheel spin, pretty soon your legs did the same movement every single time. You know, right leg up, left leg, or right leg down, left leg up. So you get a big old flat spot in your big wheel. And then, of course, when you go to roll, they're boom, 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 all along the road because of your big old flat. Yep, that's funny. You know, the cool kids had the green machine. I never had the green machine, but man, oh, that green machine was so cool looking. Oh, to have a green one. Oh, somebody said the green one. Dude, Pop Actor, did you have a green machine? If you did, man, you must have been one of the rich kids. That's cool. Let's see. I want the original Battle Ram 2, the too pricey one. Really? I didn't know they were so pricey. Of course, I got mine a long time ago. Yep. Oh, speaking of flocked, let me show you guys something really cool since I got you all here and you're all watching me. So I'm going to show you the coolest figure that I had made one time. I didn't do it myself. Oh, where is he? While you're waiting, you guys can enjoy looking at Zodak while I go try to find my other figure. So I met this guy online one time years ago, and I tried to help him make his website, and he was called Hair Club for G.I. Joe. And he was actually so good at replacing the hair on G.I. Joe's head that after he did it, the figure did not lose any value. So that G.I. Joe was still worth just as much after he repaired the hair as it was before, which was kind of cool. So he had this special certification, and he used to do hairstyles that would match people. So they would send in pictures of themselves, and he would literally, you know, do the male bald pattern or facial hair or whatever else they had going on to try to match the G.I. Joe. And at the time, I was seeing if he could reflock not Stinkor, Mossman, right? But he didn't have any green because he only had G.I. Joe hair. And I thought, you know, how about a Beast Man? And so I mailed him this Beast Man. This is a commemorative one. And I marked up where I didn't want him to have hair. So he gave me the nice bald on top, bald in the stomach. And here is my flocked Beast Man. If you look close, you can see the different tones of coloring he used. So it has that authentic G.I. Joe hair look. And it's just one of my favorite figures. It's so cool. And at the time, it cost me a fortune for back then to get it done because, you got to pay shipping both ways and pay for his skills. And I had to buy a figure to do it with too. And on eBay, it was starting to get kind of pricey. So I went and got a brand new Beastman commemorative to send to him just to do it. And I actually undid the legs and gave them to him with the legs undone and all the parts separate. Then when I got it back, I put it back together. But there he is. Beastman, flocked. So, oh, they both got the new flocked Panthor, huh? Yep, I'm curious how the helmet's going to fit in the flocked Panthor when I get it. So I'm guessing it might be kind of tight on there. So I guess we'll see how it fits. May require some more sanding. But anyway, there is my flocked Beastman. Beastman. Now, I always like to give Beastman the battle axe because we saw in the box art of the battle ram, he had the battle axe, which I always thought was so cool. And I used to always give him a battle axe because of that picture of the battle ram box art. So, Beastman hard armor is so rare. I think I might try to flock Battle Cat. Eric Kent, that would be awesome. Dude, if you flock Battle Cat, that looks so cool. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this, I think, unless somebody has some other questions. And then we will call it quits. Now, one thing I do that you guys probably already noticed is I do buy commemoratives, and I do give them the old heads. So here's the commemorative Prince Adam, but he's sporting an 80s version Prince Adam head. And for those that don't know, the reason why I do that is because the heads they came with stunk. I mean, look at this. This is the commemorative He-Man head. And you can just see the difference. And it's just obvious. And what really bums me out is I think they used this sculpt when they made the He-Man Giants. And that's why he looks so weird and awkward. Instead of going back to the 80s head, which they showed in PowerCon, the giant He-Mans with the 80s head. I'm like, oh, yes, make those. And they never did. And now I guess I heard yesterday the designer has left Mattel that made those giants that had a giant He-Man, a giant Faker, a giant Wonder Bread He-Man, a giant Slime Pit He-Man for the 12-inch. And it's like, those would have been so cool. But anyway. All right. Well, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Check out my old videos while you guys are hanging around. And thanks for joining me, you guys. I'm trying to find a decent price in the Sky Sled because I never had the original. All right. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Bye now.